Hello all, I'm Vaishnav from IIT Madras in Chennai, India. I will be making a presentation on the topic Influence of External Environment on the Early Age Expansion Characteristics of Calcium Sulfoaluminate Cement Base Binders. As we all know, concrete is one of the most used materials in the world, and cement forms the basis of concrete. So, the demand for cement is always going to increase, especially in developing nations such as India. The demand for cement over the next decade is expected to increase manifold. And also, the cement manufacturing industry is one of the leading contributors to CO2 emissions, which is about 8% of the overall CO2 emissions. Putting that in perspective, if cement industry were a country, it would be the third largest emitter in the world, only to be behind China and the US. So we have a case where we need to have an increase in cement production to meet the demands of the society, as well as we'll have to try to reduce the level of CO2 emissions from cement. One way to do this would be to use alternate low CO2 binders. And calcium sulfoaluminate cement is one such alternate low CO2 cement that is being promoted now. So how is it different from Portland cement? In Portland cement, we have the phases such as C3S, C3A, C2S, C4AF, and gypsum. Whereas in CSA based cements, in place of C3S and C3A, we have the phase called ilmenite, C4A3S, which is a lesser lime intense phase, thereby the overall manufacturing process reducing the CO2 emissions by about 25 to 35%. Here are some of the hydration reactions that are present in CSA systems. Ilmenite itself can hydrate to form the calcium sulfoaluminate phase of monosulfate along with aluminum hydroxide, which is available here in the amorphous form. And when we have available calcium sulfate source, ilmenite will hydrate directly to form ettringite. If we have calcium hydroxide or calcium oxide present in the system, the ilmenite available will directly convert complete to ettringite without the formation of aluminum hydroxide. And this formation of ettringite can also happen through some metastable phases such as CaH10. And here, since we have both belate as well as aluminum hydroxide, we can also form phases such as stratlingite in the system. In addition to these phases, as we have the normal Portland cement phases such as ferrite and belate, we will also form ettringite, CSA gel, and portlandite parallel to the hydration of ilmenite. Although CSA cements are now being promoted as low CO2 binders, they were originally developed to be expansive cements. Where it is being used is, as we know, concrete is susceptible to drying shrinkage, and drying can cause tension stresses to be developed within the concrete microstructure, which can lead to shrinkage crack formation. Whereas if we have an expansive cement system, it can induce pre-compressive stresses due to this expansive nature of the system, which can be used for shrinkage compensation in the concrete system. So what are the factors that affect this expansion in CSA based systems? It will depend on the amount of ilmenite that is present, amount of calcium sulfate, also the water available for hydration. In addition to the amount of calcium sulfate, even the type of calcium sulfate that is there, whether it is anhydride, semihydrate, or dihydrate, will also play a role in determining the final expansion characteristics. All these parameters primarily affect the amount of ettringite formed. However, amount of ettringite is not a direct parameter which can be used to determine the level of expansion in the system. This is because in addition to the amount of ettringite, where and how the ettringite is being formed will also have an impact on the total expansion that is formed in the system. So the overall mechanism of expansion in CSA based systems is being explained based on the crystallization pressure theory, where the level of supersaturation with respect to ettringite is used to correlate with the resultant expansion in the system. The increase in supersaturation can be brought about even by addition of calcium sulfate within the system. But what if the calcium sulfate is coming from an external environment? Will that also cause expansion or not? This is kind of the question that is being explored in this particular study. So for this study, I've used both OPC as well as a CSA admixture, which is used to blend with the Portland cement system. And only cement paste specimens have been used in the study. The phase composition of the CSA admixture is shown in the table here. It had about 14% of elamite, 43% anhydride, and 21% lime available in the system. And 5 different exposure conditions were used. First is the drying case, where the specimens were exposed to 65% relative humidity, and the continued curing case, where the specimens were either exposed to 95% relative humidity or saturated lime solution, denoted as lime. In addition to that, 2 different levels of gypsum dosages are also included. First is the USCS, where the specimens were exposed to 1 gram per liter gypsum solution, or SCS, where the specimen was exposed to 5 gram per liter of gypsum solution. And 3 different binder systems are being compared here. First is the OPC, the Portland cement system, with 5% and 10% replacement levels of CSA with OPC. And for expansion studies, 25 cross 25 cross 285 prismatic specimens were used. They were demolded at 24 hours and conditioned till 7 days in saturated lime solution, beyond which it was exposed to one of the 5 exposure conditions that was mentioned in the previous slide. And in order to get an idea of the stiffness, the dynamic modulus test was done based on the ultrasonic pulse velocity method on similar specimens, and the compressive strength was evaluated based on 50 cement paste tube specimens. Some of the results. The first one is the XRD diaphragmogram of the 10% CSA blended cement at different ages. Here we can observe that at 1 day we can see a small peak of elamite that is visible, and when we move to 7 days, this peak is completely disappearing, meaning whatever elamite was available in the system is getting consumed within 7 days. And this also can be seen as an increasing the amount of ettringite that is formed in the system. And parallelly, we also have the Portland cement phases that are hydrating. So that is evident with the decrease in the peak corresponding to halite, as well as the increase in the peak, which is corresponding to the Portland phase. Coming to the expansion results, the Portland cement system is typically non-expansive, and we have very little expansion measured from the Portland cement system. And when we start adding CSA to the system, the level of expansion is increasing, and at 10% case, there is a drastic increase in expansion. So this addition of CSA is what is causing expansion, and why it is causing expansion could possibly be because we are forming additional ettringite from the elamite that is available in the CSA cement. And the other thing to note here would be the expansion at early ages is very high. However, the rate of expansion beyond 7 days is almost non-existent, and the expansion curves are plateauing. This is kind of in line with what we saw in the previous graph, where at 7 days, almost all of the elamite was consumed. So there is no further elamite available to form additional ettringite to cause expansion in these systems. And coming to the exposure to different environments, here the dimension at 7 days is being reset to 0, and whatever change the different exposure condition is having on the specimen is being shown in this graph. If you look at the drying scenario, the specimen from 3800 microstrains at 7 days is kind of shrinking now, and from 0 we see the level of shrinkage that is recorded is about 1500 microstrains. However, this value is much less than 3800, meaning the resultant length of the specimen is still in the expanded state. So if this was in a restrained condition, then probably it wouldn't have generated enough tensile stresses to form shrinkage cracks at this particular dosage at 28 days. And the continued curing cases, both lime and RS95 had similar levels of expansion. And when the specimens are exposed to gypsum solution, we definitely see an increase in expansion. And this expansion is also dependent on the dosage of gypsum solution that was exposed to. USCS is a 1 gram per liter solution, and SCS is a 5 gram per liter solution. So the higher the dosage of gypsum available in the exposed solution, higher is the expansion recorded. So this increase could be because of an increase in level of supersaturation with respect to ettringite caused by the gypsum additionally available from the external environment here. And coming to the mechanical characteristics, the compressive strength of the three binder systems are shown here. What we can see is all the three binder systems have very similar compressive strength, and it is not varying much based on the CSA dosage. And similar trend was also seen in the dynamic modulus, where all the three binder systems have similar levels of dynamic modulus. And the other thing to note here would be the dynamic modulus is kind of increasing with time, and there is no drop at any stage. So this will also indicate that the binder system, which is expansive, is not having any cracks in the binder matrix. If there is any crack formation, we would have seen a drop in the dynamic modulus. So this again goes to show that we have an expansive system which is very stable and there are no cracks found within the binder matrix. So concluding, the addition of CSA is kind of resulting in increase in ettringite formation, and this, although it is not affecting the compressive strength or stiffness of the binder matrix much, it is definitely causing an increase in level of expansion. And the increase in expansion is also contributed by exposure to sulfate environment. So expansion in the OPC CSA blended system is definitely affected both by the dosage of CSA as well as the curing media. So I'd like to acknowledge the doctor's scholarship received from MSRD in India, as well as the financial support from the Department of Civil Engineering here at IIT Madras, which facilitated me to complete the experiments. And I'd like to take up some of the questions if you have any. Thank you.